Hi, I'm Sage and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm drawing another skull and snake, yay! And this is me sketching the skull and the snake out. I'm just trying to get basic forms down. And I really wanted to give y'all the dimensions for the colored canvas. That will be the end product. And the reason why is I like to do my sketching on one canvas and then take that and put that sketch on another canvas. That way I could still have all the layers of my sketch, but I also just have the sketch itself on the canvas I'm gonna color. If I want to change anything, then I still have all the layers from the old canvas still ready to go and ready to use just in case. Things you learn being a digital Procreate artist. And so our sketching comes to an end and then we embark on the coloring journey. And on this journey, I go and find the greens because I'm a big fan of green. I just think it's beautiful. And then I also add in some reds, and it's because they're complementary colors. And here I'm just mapping out where the lights are, where the shadows are, where the midtones are. And then there's a part where I don't show you, and then bam, the skull looks like it's slightly rendered, but it is not because I don't like it. So I was like, I'm not even gonna include that part because it's getting trashed. Sometimes as an artist, the little squiggles in your brain goes, I don't like that. Suddenly, bam, 11 hours pass. At least that's my experience. Now I'm lining the snake scales. And the reason why I'm lining them with red is because you guessed it, complementary colors, except for the light spots, in which case I use really light green. And now I'm coloring. Ooh, it's my favorite part. So with coloring, I'm using the gouache brush and I'm basically just going around in like small little circles and I'm just blending everything out. And then later on, I become more focused on where the lighting is coming as well as adding in more shadows as well. Because one thing that I've learned is if the lighting and the values, if they all perfectly just combine to make a delicious spaghetti, you know what I'm saying? A delicious artwork, everything will look stellar. And how you can check that real quick in case you're interested is you can take your artwork, regardless if it's traditional or if it's digital, and put a black and white filter over top of it, and then you can see where you need to either fix it or that you're great. And here I'm fixing Mr. Snake because I don't know what was wrong with his head, but something was just not clicking for me. So I was like, I'm just gonna go in there with the transform tool and do what I gotta do, and then bam, we're gonna have a nice snake head. And then here I am because I noticed that the snake head gets a little blurry, even though I did put it on bicubic. If you know Procreate, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Basically, bicubic is supposed to make it so it doesn't get blurry once you start transforming stuff, but you know, I don't know absolutely everything about Procreate. I just knew that I was gonna go in and do some gouache blending, and that's what I did, and then bam, he looks fabulous. Then here, I'm being more meticulous about adding in more shadows and some highlights just to kind of emphasize everything because we want that extra oomph. And here I'm working on his eye, and it's the same method as I'm using with the scales as I'm doing with his eye. I really like how this one like specifically turned out because snake eyes can be hard, but damn dude, I'm so proud of this one. And then for the scales, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm just working my way down the snake, so I'm adding in more highlights and shadows and just putting them wherever I see fit. And then here I'm adding in some blue for some more shadows because I really like the blues and the reds together. They're warm and cool, and I enjoy that. I just like it, so I added some blue. Also, random fun fact real quick, did you know parrots, when they're all grouped together, they're called a pandemonium? Isn't that fun? And now I'm finally working on the skull again, yay! How I got here was, I took the old skull that you were seeing, the entire speed paint, and I used a blending brush, and the blending brush that I used was the airbrush, and I just airbrushed all the colors together to get the effect that I was going for the lighting and the shadows before I built upon it. And then for this next upcoming part, for the skull specifically, I was just looking at my art piece for too long, and I wanted to include this too because the art funk got me. And you may be like, what is that? It's when you look at your artwork for too long and it starts warping in your head. You know what I'm saying? It looks like a completely different art piece, and that's what's happening right now. That's why I'm adding like the nose to the skull and just trying to figure out if it's an anatomy thing. Turns out it was just a me thing. And now that I look back at it, I'm like, I did great. But in the moment, I was like, what is going on? And it wouldn't be a me video if I don't hit you with some fun facts. So that's what I'm gonna do. Octopi can swim up up to 25 miles an hour, which is around 40 kilometers an hour. That is so fast. There's an extinct type of penguin called the Colossus penguin, and it stood at 6 feet 6 inches tall. That's so tall, man. That's around the average height for an NBA player. Those penguins would have been ballin', man. And did you know a swarm of ladybugs is actually called a loveliness? That's so cute. And I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And all of my social media links are linked below if you want to follow me on any one of those. And I will see you next week with a whole new art piece. Okay, thank you so much for watching. The end result is here.